Strength Warehouse presents Go Heavy or Go Home podcast. I am your host, Nate Boley. In this podcast, we talk about strength, fitness, nutrition, and all things Strength Warehouse related.
All right, hello guys. This is Megan, and I am taking over Go Heavy or Go Home podcast today. And today I have a good friend, Sarah Hellman, with me today. So we're just gonna chat with her about her podcast and how things are going for her and some women's health and strength topics. So hi, Sarah.
Hello.
How's things going?
Good. So last time we were on, it was me and my partner Erin. We're both OBGYNs here in town, and we have our own podcast called Wine with Your Gyn that is about women's health, and really all topics in regards to being a woman. And we always start the podcast with a little wine. And back when we talked, I don't think we'd even recorded one.
You hadn't done any yet.
Newbies,
when we had you on first, yeah. So that you guys were newbies, yeah. It's going well.
Really well, yes. We are having so much fun, and I feel like we're doing it while also doing really good work. You know, we're really trying to spread information, good science-based information, educate women about their bodies, and by, educating, creating connection and community in sort of a roundabout way. So it's been really fun, but it also feels like we're doing good.
That's awesome. You guys have wine. You advertise a wine each time, correct?
Yes.
How's that going? Are you guys getting lots of
wine
wineries?
sponsorships?
Yeah, wine sponsorships.
No. It's really kind of just been whatever's in Erin's pantry at this point.
Got it, yeah.
I see that long term, but we're still so new in it. We're really just... we've gotten some free bottles of wine from people,
yes.
And, we advertise for them by drinking the wine and talking about the tasty notes. Mm-hmm. And I think we will definitely get more sponsorship as we get more episodes out there and more people listen. And, we're both busy doctors with families, so we just probably haven't put a lot of time into that part of the podcast, like the sponsorship marketing and all that. So not really. This is kind of fun though. We are planning a live event sometime soon. I don't have a date yet, at one of the wine bars here in town where people can come and do like a Q&A at a wine bar. So
that would be super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Keep us updated because I'm sure a lot of our members would be down to do that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. We hosted a Galentine's event a couple days after Valentine's.
It was so fun.
So we had all the ladies from Strength Warehouse, invited them to a winery, just had some wine, some appetizers, talked with each other. It was super fun.
It was so fun. It was so nice because there are a lot of women I haven't met yet because they go to different classes, different class times. So It was a nice opportunity to meet people that go to like the, early morning classes.
Yeah. When Nate and I first opened the gym, we were doing like monthly get-togethers with all the members. Very small group of members. Mm-hmm. We'd have it at our house until like 3-4 years in. Mm-hmm. I remember the last event we had at our house, there was like 40 people at our house. And I was like, I think that we've outgrown having events at our house at this point. Mm-hmm. It was nice and easy when we were able to do it at our house, but we've grown too big, so now we have to go out in the community and find different spots to have our gatherings.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll have them at the gym here, but that can be challenging with tables and food and all that jazz too. Tell me about some of the guests that you've had on your podcast. I know that I've seen several super cool specialists that you guys have had on there. You don't have to go into all of them, but share a few of those with me.
So we are so fortunate here in Central Oregon. We have so many incredibly smart, educated, extraordinary women who are passionate about their work. And so we have just had so many incredible guests that we already knew organically or heard about the podcast or were interested in coming on, who are just amazing in their field. And a couple off the top of my head, Your Gyn, she's a sex coach here in town. She has her PhD, incredibly experienced and empathetic and wonderful woman, and she's probably going to be a recurring guest because there's no shortage of topics about sex and intimacy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Wendy Hatcher, she is a psychologist. She was the one that talked about postpartum depression and anxiety. She is amazing. Her ability to connect with patients and people and the work she does is so important. We had our first remote guest, Dr. Celeste Holbrook. She is a sex therapist down in Texas. This is kind of fun. She was someone I knew because I went to med school with her husband. And we've just kind of stayed connected on social media, but she's amazing and has all sorts of experience and knowledge. And then we've had a couple of therapists on, Kim Martin, Sarah Peterson, you, of course, Rob. So yeah, I mean, we've really we're so fortunate in the women that we know and just the caliber of wisdom and experience and knowledge.
That's super
really
cool. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a shortage of guests for you guys.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, we still have such a long list of not just topics, but also guests that are open to coming on in all various fields. I mean, we have a urologist, we have a sleep doctor, we want to talk about sleep.
Awesome.
I mean, we have, we want to talk about reproductive rights. I mean, you know, if you listen to the podcast, the preponderance is women's health because, you know, Erin and I are OBGYNs and that's our specialty. But we also discuss things that are, you know, not directly medical. You know, we talk about empathy. We talk about mental health. We just released a podcast that has a couple of teenage girls on it that are just talking about being a teenage girl in this day and age. And we just let them share their experience and their wisdom about being in public school health class and, you know, gynecologist for the first time, and that's
super cool.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll make my 12-year-old listen to that one.
Yeah. The girls that were on are really just neat girls, and it was, you know, I was listening to them talk, and I thought, my God, your level of awareness and confidence around this stuff at 14 to 16, I finally hit at maybe like 38.
Yeah.
It's so
was
cool.
One of them Erin's daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Quinn.
She's got a little head start.
Yeah. She knows more than she probably wants to.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Cool. That's super cool. And you guys have gotten like pretty good response and following with the podcast.
We have, yeah. We've got quite a few subscribers. We've had a couple thousand downloads, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
And this is just with Erin and I really doing our best.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've had some opportunities open up for people getting involved that are more tech savvy and into web pages and internets and social media and at a much higher caliber than she and I are. So I think with that, it'll probably open up some more. But right now, it's just been kind of grassroots, like, you know, people we know and our friends and all these awesome guests just sharing it. And it's just, you know, like a ripple effect.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
Yeah, very organic.
Well, I'm super stoked for you guys, and I'm glad that it's taking off the way it is. I think it's obviously a needed thing because it seems to be super popular, and women are kind of clinging to this.
Yes, they want this information. I mean, how is it, Megan, that every woman who lives to her mid-50s is going to go through menopause, right?
Yeah.
Every single woman is going to go through this at some point. Yet, if you ask a woman to define perimenopause, no one can.
Yeah.
Because no one talks about it.
Yeah.
It's as big a deal for our health, both physically and mentally, socially, like all of that is puberty. And yet no one can even define it.
Yeah.
And that is just a real injustice to women in healthcare and the way we're educated and the way our, male partners are educated. I mean, so there's a real need for this.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
So we love spreading the word, but we also like doing it in a, less formal, more irreverent, I guess is a word you could say, format. Yeah. So, there's some F-bombs and some dirty jokes, and it's got an explicit rating, and we want it to feel like you're sitting around with your girlfriends having a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Or a bottle.
Yeah. But then we're also getting that education piece that we know is good education, good information.
Yes.
Because there's so much information out there, it's a lot of times very hard for people to decipher.
Yes.
What's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong.
Absolutely.
What's normal, what's not normal.
Mm-hmm. There's so much clickbait out there. And there are a lot of people out there with opinions that are anecdotal and with absolutely no scientific evidence to support them, or people that are just trying to get more clicks. I don't know, but you can rely on Dr. LeGrand and I, in that we're both board certified OBGYNs. Yeah. We're both practitioners of evidence-based medicine. It's not going to be whatever some Yahoo on their blog thinks about this.
Yeah. One of my biggest pet peeves is the whole it's normal for a bunch of different topics. So let's say urinary incontinence. People are like, oh, it's normal, when they actually mean it's common.
Yes.
So that whole normal versus common and the difference between those two words, big pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because, I'll say something along those lines to patients, because you want to normalize things so they don't feel alone. Like when I say, urinary incontinence is a very common complaint, or, when you go through this, it can be normal, but then you have to follow that up with, but you don't have to live with it. Yeah, like there are things we can do for it. But that's a really interesting point, the delineation between normal and common. I like that.
Yeah. Because, I get it a lot with my postpartum women that I work with, and they're like, well, so-and-so told me it's normal to pee myself for the rest of my life when I sneeze. Yeah. And I'm like, well, common, yes. Normal, no. So let's focus on that a little bit more than just saying, oh, it's normal, and brushing it under the rug like they do.
Yeah. One of the OR nurses I work with just started Your Babies in Barbell.
Yes, yes, she did. Yep. That's super cool. I was excited for that. Yeah. I had one lead come in recently that heard me on your podcast. That's how she came in.
That's so awesome.
And I was like, cool, that's small world, but that's super cool.
I love that.
Yeah. One thing I want to chat with you about is, so I want to know if you're seeing a shift in women in strength. This is my life, strength training. So to me, I'm like, there's tons of women in strength training. Like, that's what they do. Like, it's everywhere because that's all I see. So I want to know, on the outside perspective, are you seeing a shift of more women headed into strength training than there has been, let's say, in the last 5 years?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I don't have any numbers or data to back that up, but just also being a woman who's been at the gym for many, many years, I do feel like there is more, at least in my patient interactions, there's more baseline knowledge about the importance of weight training than there was 10 years ago. So when I see a patient for a well-woman exam, like that's the annual exam, you come in, we make sure you're all up to date with your screening, I do a head-to-toe, ask you a few questions, and I always ask about, what do you do for exercise? And if they're not doing weight training, which honestly most are not, I educate them about weight training. But I feel like I've been getting more yeses around weight training, or at least like an awareness around the importance of it and less intimidation. And so that's one thing we talk about too, is like, how do you get over the intimidation? Like, one thing I'll tell patients is, well, if you feel intimidated about going to the gym, buy some of your own weights, start at home, and then once you develop some confidence there, then maybe try a class or go to the gym. You know, start small. It doesn't have to be, I've never been in a free weight room and now I'm doing bench presses with the 350-pound meatheads.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And so making it, you know, accessible, giving ideas for that. But I do feel like there's at least more awareness and less of the traditional misconceptions around it. Like, God forbid you lift a barbell, or all of a sudden you're going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
So.
Cool. That's good. It's good to hear. Because I see it a lot. Like, I see tons of women in strength on my end of the world, but that's all I see. I have blinders on.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But you said majority of your patients are not partaking in strength training, which is still a bummer, but I feel like the more we normalize it, and the more we educate and talk about it and just make it part of our regular life, my hope is that it will continue to grow. It is intimidating. We try to make it the least intimidating here at Strength Warehouse.
It's not intimidating here, guys. It's like you walk in and everyone's so friendly, and you have such various levels of experience and fitness here. I mean, you don't walk in and feel like there's no one here like you.
Yeah. Still super intimidating for some people, even though we make that pretty clear that we really try to make it not intimidating for them, but we'll recommend that they work with a coach for a little while. So they're going to work one-on-one. I have a gal that had never done any strength training before at all, super terrified to even begin. She's like, I don't even know where to start or think or do, help me.
Yeah.
So we set her up with she's doing a couple months of one-on-one training with me to just get her really comfortable with weights, so that when she goes into classes, she's not terrified. I even told her that I will walk with her into her first class and I'll do the class with her.
I love that.
Because she's just really terrified of it. But she's amazing. She's doing awesome. And she deadlifted the other day first time and it looked great, and she was like, this is amazing. She's like, I feel so strong and so powerful. It's just been awesome to see that transition. She's going through some IVF, and one of her goals is to lose body fat, because she's been struggling with the IVF, and so she's taking a break, and she's like, I want to get strong, I want to lose a little body fat. So in a way, we're trying to help her get pregnant, which is super awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Not an experience I've had before, but I'm super stoked to be part of that journey.
And not just get pregnant, but have a healthier pregnancy because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
that's exciting.
Working with a coach. Hire a coach if you're super, super intimidated.
Yes.
Hire a coach.
Yes, absolutely. That's such good advice. I was in college, and I just kind of learned it all on my own, and it's been so long that I forget about how intimidating it can be when you're not used to it. But ideally, you would hire a coach, absolutely, because they can teach you how to do it without injuring yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. If they just help you get to where you want to be a lot faster. We have a coach for our business to help us get to where we want to be faster without making a million mistakes that other people have made. They cut those out for us so that we can get on the right path and get to where we want to be quickly. So yeah, hiring a coach is great. Even if it's not here at Strength Warehouse, hire a coach. I have remote clients too, so even if you don't have a coach in your area, you can find someone that does remote coaching. That's very helpful too. Doesn't help a whole lot with the intimidation of walking into the gym, but still helps with knowing what to do once you get there.
I think that's important for a lot of women because, if you don't know what to do, you just stand there and you look around. And, I think even without having a coach to walk in with you, just having some baseline knowledge around basic lifts, you could just say, hey, I'm going to go in and do 3 lifts and then I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And then just start there.
Yeah. Baby steps.
Yes, baby steps.
That's totally fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have some travel for the summer, right? How do you keep up your fitness when you're traveling? Do you continue your fitness while you're on vacation and trips?
I do, yeah. I mean, obviously my access to equipment might change what that looks like, but you can get a really good workout with body weight. So I am more flexible on vacation, obviously, because my routine is off, but I still I'm going to be heading down for a trip to Roatan in July with my kiddos, and we'll be there for a week, and we'll be overall pretty active just because you're snorkeling and exploring and all that. But I really do like to start my day with a solid at least half hour, 45 minutes of something just to myself. Yeah. And so that could be a run, or it might be a short run and just some body weight stuff. So, you have to get a little creative, but you don't have to have equipment. You don't have to have weights. You don't have to have bands. You don't have to have any of that. You can kick your own ass with some push-ups, some split squats, and some planks. Yeah. So. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to be honest. I do not work out typically on vacation. That's like my vacation away from gyms.
Well, this is also your job, Megan.
So I'm going on vacation, and the last thing I want to do is go to another gym. But I will say this last time we went to Vegas, there's so many cool gyms in Vegas, so we had to go and check out one of the cool gyms there that had super cool equipment. And, so we did that. But really, I don't really work out very much on vacation. We try to be pretty active when we're on vacation anyway.
I don't feel like you should feel guilted into it. It's vacation. Yeah, so, for me, absolutely. I like it. It makes my day feel better. I don't do it out of guilt, but I have people that I know that are very fit, and they don't work out at all on vacation. Yeah. They're like, no, I just need a break. Yeah. Great. Have a break.
Yeah. Your body needs breaks.
Absolutely.
So don't feel like you have to, or feel guilty that you're not working out on vacation. Yeah. I have a lot of clients that are like, send me workouts to do. I want 5 workouts for this week. Well, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it, because your body needs a break. Your mind needs a break. It will be good for you. Yeah. I know it can be challenging if that's what you're used to, working out.
Sometimes when I come back from vacation and I've gone, a few days, or my workouts are just lighter, they're not me lifting heavy or anything, I actually have, my first workout when I get back from vacation is usually amazing, because I've actually not kicked my own ass for an entire week, so my body's like, oh, I'm rested.
Yeah. Your body, one of the biggest things you can do is recovery work for your body. It needs it, for sure.
That's where I struggle. I'm not very good at that. Yeah. And that's not humble bragging, guys. That's not a good thing.
No, it's not healthy.
It's not healthy. I'm talking about in therapy, okay?
Yeah. We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Yeah. So body needs rest, for sure. Do you have any good information about training with menstrual cycles?
Are you saying training certain things during certain times in your menstrual cycles?
Yeah, or how it affects you physically, I guess, would be better.
I would say exercising does actually help, even though it's the last thing you want to do, it actually does help with the symptoms of PMS and the pain you have with your periods. So if you can get yourself to work out, even if it's just more of a gentle thing, anything physically active does help with those symptoms. There is no data around, if you do this kind of lifting at this point in your cycle, you'll have better gains or anything like that.
Yeah, it seems to be very individualized with my clients. So like some clients, it affects them a lot, like the week before. Some clients, it doesn't affect them at all. So it's very individualized, it seems like. So you kind of just gotta figure out what your body
absolutely
does and likes, and how it works, and then work around that is what I've found.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it could be that maybe the week before your period, your lifts are terrible because your body is exhausted because of your upcoming period, and you tend to have really bad fatigue with your PMS, and you have really bad cramps. You're not sleeping as well at night. And I mean, our bodies are so complex and interconnected that those things affect other things, you know, maybe in an indirect fashion, but you know, like Megan said, every woman is different, and you just have to find what works best for you. And if that's not what works best for, I don't know, Kathy.
Yeah.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever, Kathy.
Whatever, Kathy.
Do your own workout. Don't worry about mine.
One of the recent competitions I just went to, I had 3 ladies coaching. All 3 of them started the period day of the meet.
Bad luck, man.
One, and then the next, and the next. I was like, all right, here we go.
You're like, use your period rage. Yeah. Use your period rage.
They all did awesome. They all did very well, still, regardless of that, because women are awesome, and they're just going to show up no matter what. So, and we train that way. Like, all 3 of them train through these times in life, and doesn't let it affect them a whole lot.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, cool. Anything else that you want to chat about today?
No, I'm just like really excited about how much fun we're having with Wine with Your Gyn. I love that you guys sponsor us because I feel like your values are in line with our values when it comes to women's health and strength, and we're all on the same team, just really trying to, like I said, educate and build connections and community and decrease suffering.
Yeah.
You know, I mean...
Or if we're going to suffer, at least do it together.
Together, with some wine.
Yeah.
You know, and lifting some weights.
Throw some chocolate in there. Call it a good day. Cool. Well, thank you so much for being on my podcast today. This was my first solo podcast.
This is Megan's podcast, everyone.
Yeah. Hopefully I did all right. Hopefully Nate will approve.
You'll probably get like 1,000% more listens than his.
At least 1,000 more downloads. Absolutely. No, he does great too. This is kind of his jam. But I did it today, so thanks for being on with me.
Yeah, anytime.
I don't have like a cool phrase to end my podcast like Nate does.
What's his phrase? You don't even know.
No, success is not final. No. It's some quote about success and failure. It's a quote about success and failure, yeah.
Okay, we should come up with our own quote. We need a Megan quote.
Yeah.
Maybe something to do with periods and lifting. I feel like that was...
Yeah.
Or no, you know what your quote is? It's not normal, it's common.
Yes.
That's it.
That's it. That's my quote. So I'm going to sign off with my new quote. It's not normal. It is common.
Hell yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this epic journey of strength. If you liked this episode, please leave us a review and share with a friend. To stay connected, hit that subscribe button. All right, until next time, go heavy or go home.